with 16,000 meters of climbing, 18,000 meters of descending, 350 kilometers. Is the Tour de Mont Blanc the hardest e-mountain bike race in the world? Well, over the next 3 days and 3 countries, I'm about to find out.
It's a hard day's work, Fabrice, hard day's work.
Now, it really doesn't matter what direction you look from here above Verbier, there are some massive mountains, whether it be the Matterhorn, the Grand Combin behind me, or that most famous mountain of all, Mont Blanc. But it's actually from the relative safety of the bike parks with their proximity to towns that I've always looked to these big mountains and thought one day I really would like to go for a big adventure. But this 3-day tour of Mont Blanc really is a pretty serious undertaking. Now, if the mountains weren't already challenging enough, I've just been looking at the start list, the 16 teams entered for this Tour de Mont Blanc. We're talking the likes of Olympic gold medalist Christoph Sauser, Marco Fontana, who's also an Olympic medalist, and of course Tracy Moseley. Now, these riders are pretty much lightweight racing machines, unlike myself. So what I'm about to undertake is 3 days. Each day is about 100 kilometers, about 5,000 meters a day. That's 15,000 feet of climbing per day, plus of course, all the descending. And this event is largely single track. 85% of the 350 kilometers are single track. In short, I've not actually ever ridden this far, certainly not on single track. I've never done that much climbing and I've never done that much descending in such a short space of time. It's going to be physically and technically very, very brutal. I'm not even sure I can do it. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm actually quite nervous about this event. I feel pretty sick. Actually, I shouldn't joke because Chris at the minute is lying in bed not feeling too well, but hopefully he's gonna get better. But I've just come up here into the hills to check out, well, I say hills, mountains. I mean, what we're about to tackle is going around that lot over there, which to me looks like quite a long way to go. We're talking Verbier to Courmayeur on day 1, then Courmayeur to Chamonix day 2, and Chamonix back to Verbier on day 3. Like I said, 100 kilometers per day, and I really am unsure whether I can actually do this race. In terms of the logistics, you've got 3 batteries or 4 batteries to use in a day, 2,000 watt hours. So how it works is you start off in the morning with a full charge, you've got a spare battery in your bag, and then you get to a lunch stop, although we've been told it's not a lunch stop because in the organisers' own words, this is not a picnic, it's a race. That'll be rattling around in my head for the next, well, for however many years, I'm sure. So yes, you get your fresh battery if you need a battery, and then you press on for the rest of the day. But 2,000 watt hours, I mean, I know that I can do about 5,000 feet on one 700 watt hour battery, but we're talking 15,000 feet in a day. So, plus we've got all the technical terrain and the climbing to deal with, and the high altitude as well. So I'm genuinely really worried about this race.
Well, it's a crisp 6 AM here in Verbier. Bad news, unfortunately, Chris has gone down a really bad virus overnight, so I've got a new teammate in the shape of French mountain guide Fabrice Cruzet. So hopefully he'll be able to help me through the hills, because I've got to say I'm feeling a little bit anxious about today. It's a big day, 3,000 meters to the first checkpoint, which is a pretty big undertaking. But hey, look at these mountains. It's absolutely stunning. And there's part of me that thinks, yeah, I'm quite looking forward to getting out into them. So my new teammate, Fabrice Cruzet.
Hey, everybody.
He's got Chris's number plate.
Yeah.
You feeling good, Fabrice?
Yeah, pretty cold this morning, but the sun is here. Yeah. I think it's okay.
Yeah. You feeling nervous?
Not nervous, no. It's just like, it's just going to be fun, eh? What's not right with that crazy fool?
And who's this crazy fool?
This crazy fool is Natalie Schneider.
The start, always a nervous place.
People are making history here.
First ever Tour de Mont Blanc on e-bikes. Within metres of the start, we were into mighty fine alpine single track and climbing strongly before the mountains opened up. The Grand Comban stains right and then straight into our first descent. The first of the 18,000 metres we'll be doing over the next 3 days. Batteries to support us before lunch, I was very aware that I needed to be very careful of the support levels, and my worst fears hit me halfway up the second climb. Having a bit of a mini moment here. I'm on red. I know they're going to hit the first 5,000 feet on one battery, but I've got no idea at the minute how much altitude you've done. So yeah, literally in a dark place in a minute. It's only 20 odd k's into the day. So Fabrice, I think we're going to do a battery change, yeah?
Yeah, it's time to change for you.
Yeah.
I change. You can take your battery in your mouth.
Okay. It's all about teamwork. Fabrice bossed me around.
Yeah.
2 right, 2. It's quite interesting how the different bikes have different batteries. Some bikes have got 500 watt-hour batteries, so they're going to be changing at different points during the day to what we are on our 700 watt-hour batteries. So it's interesting, the game of catch and pass during the day. So I can see like about 5 teams ahead of us, which I've not seen for about an hour, which is actually quite reassuring.
Everybody change battery in the front. Yeah. It's like in Formula 1.
It is like Formula 1, yeah. With the terrain getting more and more remote, we soon became aware that there was now no turning back. And after a quick energy bar, the first of many dozen, my mood lifted as the mountains rose all around us as we skirted the south side of Grand Comban at almost 10,000 feet. So when you get up to these altitude numbers, it's not just about the technical riding. Sorry about that. It's about dealing with the altitude as well. So we're heading on for 10,000 feet. So Fabrice just told me this is the highest pass of the trip. Wow. Wow.
Good.
The descent from Fenêtre Durand was technical, fast and with no room for error for bike or for body. Marco Fontana showing just how challenging the high alpine terrain is. Soon though we were back under the tree line, more earthy tones before pit stop number 1. Can't beat a bit of beer ferrata when you're absolutely knackered. Sousa and Bundy rolled in with a healthy lead. Woohoo! You seem to have got in a bit of a jam there. I'm too fat. Fat he's not. So me and Fabrice have got here at 11:34 and Christophe Sousa got here at... Sorry, we got here at 1:34 and Christophe Sousa got here at 11:34.
Yeah.
2 hours ahead of us.
Yeah.
2 hours ahead of us. Quick 30-minute lunch and then we've got a 1,900 metre climb this afternoon. Apparently there's a 15-minute push and a 10-minute carry.
Ah, yes.
Well, like we haven't done that this morning.
Yeah.
Good morning though. Yeah?
Yeah. Very beautiful. It's a nice trail and
Yeah.
good weather. And
It is.
very
Right.
nice, yeah.
Let's have some more chocolate.
Yeah.
After some bread, cheese and some chocolate, me and Fabrice hit the slopes, which, as we were to find out, would be some of the hardest on the tour. Not far from the notorious summit of Malatra, it seemed Sousa was in trouble, pushing where Golay and Grossrieder were spinning the Lapierres.
How are you?
It's a hard day's work, Fabrice, hard day's work.
Yeah.
So you get to 9,000 feet and you're confronted with a wall. Not funny. Just not funny at all.
No, not at this moment.
Malatra was no place for the faint-hearted, as we carried our 20-kilogram bikes through the precipitous scree, now deep into Italian terrain. With tired bodies, our mood was lifted by our first sight of the magnificent Mont Blanc in the early evening light. From here, all that was left of the day was the descent to Courmayeur. Easier said than done, but still we cracked on as our day pressed close to 10 hours of ride time. Day one had been a brutal start to the race, and even stage winners Golay and Grossrieder and Mosley and Schneider confessed to sore bodies after a tough day. Early morning on the southern slopes of Mont Blanc. An easier day was on the cards, but still a huge ride. The day begins as day one ended, more rocks, high speed and technical terrain. So day two, they've almost managed to convince us that today is easier than yesterday, but still it's a 4,300 metre climb. So our destination today is Les Ouches in Chamonix. So yeah, let's hope it's slightly easier than yesterday, please.
The big climb today, the big pass for today, stage 2 here in Italy, and the Valvini, and here it's France, my home place.
Yay! Allez le bleu!
Yes! Now it's flat downhill, yeah.
Flat out. The day was going well, but still we couldn't resist a pre-pit stop pit stop. Just done a famous Tour de France Col de la
Cormet de Roseland, exactly.
Yeah.
It's Tour de France pass.
Yeah. But we couldn't resist getting some saucisson and some cheese.
We have good sandwiches.
Yeah, look at this.
Look at it.
Oh, can't wait to have some of that later on. What do you say, Holger? A bit of wine later?
That looks good.
It does, doesn't it?
We should go for it.
This is not a picnic though, right?
No, this is a race.
Yeah.
Too bad.
So you called a lunch stop though?
Well, we do, but the real lunch stop is still coming up.
Now, if you're wondering how we manage batteries on this monumental loop, well, we start off in the morning with one full charge in the bike and also one charge in a bag. Remember, you've got to have quite a big bag to carry a battery. Then the team has a selection of boxes. You have a box for your nighttime stuff and also a box for your daytime spares, and that also carries your lunchtime battery replacement. So as you can see, we're now at the lunchtime stop here. You get checked in, you've got 30 minutes. Yes, it's 30 minutes, and you have to leave on the dot of that 30 minutes. So that's the only spare time you've got during the day. Brutal.
Stretching is very important. You get a very sore back.
Looks like Mosley's doing push-ups.
She's a pro.
Goulet and Grocery were now leading out the race, hunted down by Souser and Bundy as we head into quite different lowland meadow. A really interesting aspect of this trip is that for the heavier riders, they're going to be climbing slower than the lighter riders, plus they're going to be using significantly more batteries, so that means you're going to be really careful on what mode you use on the climbs. Fabrizio, however, is riding an eco and getting ridiculous amount of range. But this is the interesting thing, is that the guys in the lead, the likes of Flo, Goulet and...
Oh, the lead is here.
Oh, there he is! Oh my god!
We can follow the lead.
So there you go. Now I'm in turbo, right? Look at these guys, 65 kilos. They've absolutely disappeared within 10 yards. Fabrice, that was ridiculous. In 1 kilometre,
Yeah.
1 kilometre, you and Flo Goulet and his teammate pulled 1 minute on me.
Oh yes.
This crazy.
Yeah, I was in try mode.
Yeah.
I think he was in turbo mode.
Yeah.
But just 1 kilometer with us. Yeah, it's very fast.
Yeah.
But I think it's faster in downhill for you, for the guy too.
It had been a tough day, but with only an hour left, I had motor problems and had to make a swift decision and divert for a serious pit stop. So as with anything mechanical or electrical, there's always the danger of something going wrong. So today struck a problem just before the last climb, and fortunately I've just come to 0G bikes, and Ben and Blow have helped me out with fitting a new motor to my Levo. I guess just fortunate they have had one. But nice one, Ben, thanks for sorting that out.
Welcome. Cheers, man.
Cheers, bloke.
You're welcome.
Early start.
It's 5 o'clock. Now it's 60 in the morning. It's 6 in the morning, sorry. And almost the start. 10 hours on the bike, I think. It will be a very big day too.
Day 3 dawned earlier than most of us imagined, but then again, dawn in the Chamonix Valley was something else, and soon I'd get a view of this iconic valley that I'd never seen before. It's a beautiful place to change a battery.
It's beautiful, yes, is it?
Huh?
Yeah, in the sunrise, I can't imagine better.
Look behind you.
Yeah, le Mont Blanc.
The mid-morning climb promised to be a tough one, so Holger Meyer and teammate skier Jeremy Height took a swift coffee stop. We simply had to join them. So, like Fabrice says, what is 5 minutes in life, eh?
Yeah, what is 5 minutes in life now?
It's again?
It's slightly 10 minutes now.
And maybe fondue next.
Yeah, to Bavin.
We just have to decide cheese fondue or fondue chinoise. You never know.
So now with the moustache team, follow them to the lunch stop. So it's 10 to 1. We've been riding for pretty much what's that, 6.5, 7 hours, and it sounds crazy, but we're now taking a chairlift halfway up the mountain, which will set us off on our final 10,000 feet of climbing, which will mean I think it's about 4 or 5 sets of those 10,000 meter attempts we've done on this trip. It's been really emotional actually, no more so than on the last downhill run where I followed Christoph Sauser and Marco Fontana. Probably one of the scariest things I've ever done on a mountain bike. And when you consider these guys are racing at that pace for 4 to 5 hours, it absolutely blows my mind. I mean, those are full-on technical downhill runs. So yeah, it's this sport of e-mountain bike racing is it's been quite an eye-opener, that's for sure. My amazing teammate Fabrice hauled me up the penultimate climb as my back started to scream at me. Been carrying that 700 watt-hour battery for 3 days. I've actually had it angled the same position in the bag, and because of an old collarbone injury, it's really stinging. It's been stinging for quite a few hours now. So what I'm going to do is, if you come in here, Fabrice, yeah, I'm going to change the angle. So rather than have it this way, and I'm going to swap it over and have it the other way around. See if that'll stop it hurting so much. But I tell you what, it really is hurting quite a lot.
Do in the middle.
Huh?
Yeah.
Do you think put it in the middle?
Yeah, it's in this way.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can, yeah, better.
In through here?
And you have to open. No, it's open. Not open.
So here we are. So here we are, 3 days in. I've just learned that I can put that down there. What an idiot. So, honestly, learned so many things on this trip. It's taken me 3 days.
You have to ask me.
Ah!
Steve.
Ah! Oh my God, what an idiot.
It's pretty steep.
That's not pretty steep, that's ridiculously steep. Look at it. That's probably the steepest climb we've done all trip. Look at it. Look at it.
Like this.
So 145 is like hitting a wall. Come on then, let's get stuck into it.
The climb to Col de Mille was one of the most exposed on the whole trip, but it was utterly spectacular. After an hour of climbing, it was now time for an hour descending. This was something very, very special. A piece of track that every mountain biker should put on their list.
That is crazy! That is ridiculous! Oh my God! I don't think I've ever heard anything like it! Please go right! Look at that! Bloody hell, girls, you took your time. It's been 3 days! 3 days we've been doing, hanging out in the shade.
They don't understand English?
Oh, they understand Welsh. Oh my God. One more climb for me.
Yeah. Last climb. Last climb.
So, they said, no more downhill, no more uphill, yeah?
No more uphill. Only downhill. Only downhill.
Okay, what's this?
13 team. This is the...
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So 3 very, very challenging days round an iconic mountain in the Alps. 45,000 feet of climbing, about 60,000 feet of descending. I couldn't believe that today, the last day, we climbed for an hour and it took us just as long to get down the mountain.
Yeah.
Fabrice is my teammate. Unfortunately, Chris went down with a virus. Bless him, although he's still drinking Coca-Cola. Fabrice, that's probably one of the toughest and longest days today that I've ever done in my life.
Yes, it's what I said. maybe it's the longest day of my life. I'm 51 and see, I have hardest day, but this one is biggest.
What I couldn't get away with the trails was that in 3 days, I think I've probably ridden some of the best mountain bike trails in my life. And I've been a journalist for 20 years, and it just kept going on and on and on. The single track trails were amazing, right?
Yeah, I remember almost the last descent, very long on the ridge.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, awesome descent.
Yeah. But it's also dangerous as well, right?
Yeah.
So Fabrice said to me, you need to focus. You need to focus.
All day you need to focus.
But I've learned so much. I've learned so much about what I can do physically. Now I believe I can do 12 hours on a mountain bike. I've learned about battery range. I've learned about line choice. I've learned about how to deal with altitude. But I've also learned that the guys that raced this race are actually some of the greatest mountain bike racers on the planet.
Yeah.
Because I followed Christoph Sausen and Marco Fontana down the mountain. Probably one of the scariest things I've ever done on a mountain bike. They were fast, right?
Yeah. We can imagine how you can do a race on this trail. Yeah. It's very dangerous. A lot of people on the trail.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it would be not out of place on a World Cup downhill track.
Yeah.
Fabrice, amazing couple of days. Thanks so much for being
nice to meet you. To share this good adventure. Yes.
And Chris is definitely going to do it next year. So that's about it. If you want to see more adventures, check out the Summit to Sea, which we did with Fabian Burrell and a crazy freerider, or Into the Wild with Hannah Barnes, which is a different kind of riding. But I can highly recommend coming and riding around Mont Blanc, whether it's in an event or a non-event. And let's know your thoughts. There's so many questions. I think I've probably learned more about e-mountain biking in the last 3 days than I have in 10 years. It's been absolutely insane. Fabrice, how are you saying French?
Cheers. Yeah. Santé.
Santé.
Yeah.